Hey parents, a quick note before we start today's story. Every month, Animal Stories for Kids podcast will still bring you 2 free regular episodes to enjoy with your kids. But if your child loves following our animals in alphabetical order and is always asking for more, I've created a special subscriber tier just for your family. When you subscribe through Supercast, you'll get an extra episode every month, plus early access to new stories before they're released on the main feed. It's a simple way to support the show's growth and keep your little animal lover stocked with calm, screen-free stories. You can find the link to subscribe in the show notes. Now let's settle in. Today's animal adventure is about to begin. Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was a Beewolf Wasp named Zara. Zara the Beewolf Wasp lived in a small burrow underground, a place she had built herself, one careful tunnel at a time. It was quiet there, safe, still. But it was also unfinished. At the end of her tunnels were small chambers she had prepared for the future. Each one was meant to hold a honeybee, food she would need for her baby Beewolf wasps later. Several of them were still empty. Zara knew exactly how many. She tried not to count them. That was her problem, because every morning when she woke, she didn't feel rested. She felt behind on her work. She would often ask herself, "What if I don't get enough bees today? What if I waste time choosing the wrong place to hunt today? What if I start and have to come back with nothing?" Her legs stayed tucked beneath her. The tunnel held steady around her, quiet and certain. "I could stay here," she whispered. In here, nothing went wrong. Nothing collapsed. Nothing proved she wasn't ready. But outside was where the bees were, and empty chambers didn't stay safe forever. Zara the Beewolf Wasp squeezed her eyes shut. "I should already be better at this," she said to herself. The tunnel did not answer. It never told her she was doing enough. After a long moment, she let out a shaky breath and pushed herself up. "I'll go," she said. Then quickly, before her thoughts could argue, "Just one bee, one trip. Just one," she said to herself. One bee, one trip. That was all. It had to be enough to start. Zara turned and began her climb upward. The sand shifted softly as she moved, each step carrying her closer to the light she both needed and feared. When she reached the entrance, she stopped. Outside, the air hummed with movement. Wings beating, legs brushing, everything in motion. Too much motion. Zara the Beewolf Wasp leaned forward, then pulled back. "Just checking," she muttered. Her heart beat faster than her wings ever could. She tried again, stepping halfway out. "Still checking." The world continued without noticing her. On the third try, she forced herself all the way into the open and gave a small, tense shake. "Okay," she said quickly. "I am outside now." She stayed still, as if moving too soon might prove something she wasn't ready to know. Nothing bad happened, but nothing told her she was ready either. Eventually, she took off. Her wings buzzed steadily, but her path curved and looped. Zara the Beewolf Wasp never flew straight at first. Her thoughts tugged her in too many directions. "This way, she decided. She paused midair. No, that way. Another pause. What if both are wrong? She asked herself. She hovered, stuck, the air holding her but not helping. Then a soft gust of wind nudged her sideways. Oh, she said, I guess I'm going this way. This time, she didn't fight it. Ahead, a honeybee moved calmly between flowers, landing, gathering, lifting, repeating. It looked so certain. Zara slowed. I know how this goes, she whispered. This was her work. This was how she filled the chambers. This was how she caught up. Still, knowing wasn't the same as doing. I won't mess it up, she said, then quieter. Probably? The word lingered in her mind, but she moved anyway. Quick, careful, practiced. There was a brief struggle. Then she caught the bee. Then there was stillness. Zara the Beewolf Wasp hovered, her legs holding the bee. She blinked. Oh, she said, I did it. She always sounded surprised. The bee was heavy, but manageable. Zara the Beewolf Wasp adjusted her grip and turned toward home. Halfway back, a grasshopper sprang up nearby with a soft thump. You look busy, it said. I am busy, Zara replied. Always busy? The grasshopper asked. Zara hesitated. Yes? Why? The grasshopper asked. She tightened her grip and said, So things don't fall apart. The grasshopper tilted its head and asked, Do they fall apart if you stop for a moment? Zara the Beewolf Wasp opened her mouth, then closed it. I don't know, she admitted. The grasshopper gave a small bounce and said back to her, Maybe try it someday. I can't, Zara said quickly. Not yet. The grasshopper didn't argue. It simply hopped away. Zara the Beewolf Wasp continued home. When she reached her burrow, she slipped inside, dragging the bee down the narrow tunnel. The quietness wrapped around her again, but now it felt like she earned it. At the chamber, she placed the bee carefully. There, she said. That's one. She stared at it. One was something, but the other chambers were still waiting. What if one isn't enough? She asked herself. The question followed her as she moved into another tunnel and began to dig. Dig, push, smooth. Each movement steadied her, but her thoughts kept moving. What if the tunnels weren't right? What if she chose the wrong place? What if she wasn't doing enough, fast enough, well enough? Zara the Beewolf Wasp stopped. I should be better, she said. The tunnel didn't answer, so she dug faster. Dig, push, smooth. A pebble slipped loose and rolled past her. Zara froze. Is it collapsing? She whispered. She waited. Nothing else moved. Slowly she exhaled. It's fine, she said. It's fine. But her legs trembled anyway. Zara the Beewolf Wasp backed out and climbed toward the surface again, stopping just inside the entrance. I don't know if I'm doing this right, she said. An ant passed by, carrying something much larger than itself in a straight, steady line. Zara watched. "Do you ever feel like you're not enough?" she asked. "I feel like there is more to carry," the ant replied. "That sounds the same." "It's not," said the ant. "More to carry means I keep going. Not enough means I stop." Zara the Beewolf Wasp blinked. "I think I stop a lot," she said. "Then start small," the ant called back. Zara sat quietly. "Start small," she repeated. After a moment, she stepped fully outside again. "I can do one thing," she said. Not everything, just one thing. She took off again. Her path still wobbled, but she didn't stop to question every turn. When she found another bee, she hesitated, but only briefly this time. "I can do one thing," she reminded herself. And she did. When she placed the second bee beside the first, something inside her settled. "That's two," she said. The chambers were still not full, but they were no longer empty, and nothing had fallen apart. Zara the Beewolf Wasp moved through her tunnel, checking each turn, each wall. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't holding. At the entrance, as the light softened, she took a breath. "I didn't finish everything," she said. The world didn't argue. "I didn't fix every worry," she said. The world stayed quiet. "But I didn't stop." That felt different. Zara watched the breeze move across the sand, shaping patterns without asking if it was doing it right. Then she turned back toward her burrow. "Tomorrow," she said, "I'll carry more." Not because she had to be perfect, but because starting again and again was how things slowly filled. She slipped inside, and this time, when she rested, the quiet didn't feel like hiding. It felt like enough. And the Beewolf Wasp lived happily ever after. The end. Beewolf wasps from the genus Philanthus are also known as bee hunters or bee killer wasps, and they are solitary and predatory wasps, which mostly preys on bees. They don't live in big hives like honeybees, and they belong to a group called Philanthini. The most famous kind is the European beewolf. Their name comes from the idea that they are like wolves that hunt bees. Beewolf wasps have three main body parts: the head, thorax, and abdomen. They have 6 legs and 2 antennae. Their bodies are usually black and yellow, kind of like a warning pattern. They have strong jaws for gripping their prey. Female beewolves have a stinger, used mostly for hunting and not defending. Beewolf wasps live in parts of Europe, Africa, and Asia. They like warm and sunny areas. They prefer sandy or loose soil where they can dig. You can find them in open fields, in dunes, or sandy banks. Female beewolf wasps dig tunnels in the ground. These tunnels can have several side chambers, like little rooms. Each chamber is used for raising one baby. The nest is hidden underground to keep it safe. They often return to the same nesting area if it's a good spot. Adult beewolf wasps drink nectar, like many insects, but their babies eat bees. Female Beewolf wasps hunt bees to feed their young. They catch bees in midair or on flowers, and they paralyze the bee with a sting so it can't move. Beewolf wasps, or bee wolves, are very skilled hunters. They can grab bees and carry them back to their nest. Sometimes the bee is as big as the wasp or bigger. They fly low while carrying prey to avoid being seen. They may drag their prey along the ground if it's too heavy. The female places a paralyzed bee in a chamber. She lays an egg on the bee. When the egg hatches, the larva eats the bee. The larva grows, then forms a cocoon, and later it becomes an adult wasp and emerges from the ground. Beewolf wasps have a special way to protect their babies from germs. They use helpful bacteria to keep food fresh. These bacteria produce chemicals that stop mold from growing. This keeps the paralyzed bees from spoiling before the larva eats them. It's like having natural food preservation. Beewolf wasps remember where their nests are. They use landmarks like rocks or plants to find their way home. Each female builds and cares for her own nest. They don't rely on a queen or a colony. Beewolf wasps can sting, but they usually only sting their prey. They are not aggressive toward humans. Beewolf wasp babies grow without needing their mother after the egg is laid. Beewolf wasps help control bee populations, especially wild bees. They are part of the food chain, and they show how insects can have very complex behaviors. Scientists study them to learn about bacteria and natural antibiotics. A single nest can have multiple bees stored inside. They carefully place bees in specific positions in the chamber. Their behavior is one of the most advanced among solitary wasps. Have you seen a real-life Beewolf wasp before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye! If your child loves imaginative stories, I'd love to share my picture book, What Else Should I Eat? It's about a girl who's hungry and goes on a whimsical journey through a magical land of food, trying different kinds of food and exploring how they look, taste, feel, and smell. It's a fun way to show kids that eating different kinds of food can be exciting. The book is perfect for ages 3 to 6, and older kids enjoy it too. You can find What Else Should I Eat on Amazon and other online bookstores. Find all the details in the show notes.